A great story can be delivered to you in a multitude of ways. If you're able to step outside of your usual gaming preferences, you can discover absolutely unforgettable experiences. That's what Limbo did for me back in 2010, and my recent playthrough of Somerville reminded me of how great that really was. This is the first game from developer Jumpship. Based in the UK, Jumpship was co-founded by Dino Patti. If that name isn't familiar to you, he was one of the original co-founders of Playdead. The DNA of Limbo and Inside runs through Somerville, but it does a lot to make itself a unique experience. Somerville sets itself apart from its peers in a few unique ways. It's not a side-scrolling platformer. It takes place in a 3D space, and it uses that to great effect. This allows Somerville a scope that very few adventure games have achieved. It also isn't vague about the protagonist's goal. Something alien has decided to show up and fuck everything up on Earth, and he just wants to protect his family and survive. Pre-release hype was pretty big amongst a certain set of gamers, but I feel like Somerville got overlooked. I decided not to let a few lukewarm reviews put me off, and I'm really glad I didn't. Somerville does a fantastic job of telling you a story without the use of dialogue. We meet a small family, wife, husband, child, and the ever-loyal dog. It's cozy and sweet, but that doesn't last long. Large rod-like objects are falling from the sky. Dad runs outside to see one not far from their front porch. Things escalate really fucking quickly, and then it's a mad dash for safety. This style of game requires exploration and puzzle solving. From the opening moments of Somerville, this is pretty clear. After those first 15 minutes where you're getting a feeling for the controls and environment, everything starts to click. I was hooked, and I wanted to help Dad find his way. While events happen pretty quickly in the beginning, Somerville doesn't feel rushed. The best storytellers in gaming can pull this off, and when that happens, it's something special. I'm always impressed. After a half hour with Somerville, I was fully invested. I wanted to know what was causing all of this destruction, and I wanted to help Dad find his way. And I was very protective of that dog, and yes, you can pet him. The most standout aspect of Somerville is its environmental scope. By this I mean the game world can feel absolutely massive, even if you're only interacting with a small part of it. In many scenes you can see far beyond your character's immediate area. Giant ships in the sky, rolling hills that seem miles away. It all does a great job of telling you a story with no dialogue at all. The art style and graphics of Somerville are gorgeous. To me, it's the most impressive part of the game. You can't help but look at the background and think about what the rest of the world is going through. It makes the game feel like it's a part of something much bigger, and yet your personal adventure helping Dad find his way doesn't feel any smaller as a result. These days, it's not so much if the graphics are good. The better question to ask is, does the art style complement the themes and gameplay of this particular game? In the case of Somerville, I would wholeheartedly say yes. So who is Somerville for? What kind of gamers will enjoy it? The easy thing to say is that if you loved Limbo and Inside, this is a game you should play. I feel like it's a bit unfair to Somerville to just sum it up as a comparison to its peers. If you love a cinematic presentation, good sound design, and a beautiful art style, you should definitely check out Somerville. Some of the best games I've ever played are ones that have reviews all over the place. One person gives it a near-perfect score, another gives it a terrible one. This is a signal that it's doing something right. It's ticking the correct boxes for a certain kind of gamer. The challenge is finding out if you're that gamer. Many of us don't have the luxury of being able to buy games whenever we want, for a myriad of reasons. Reviews can be a handy tool, but they're not gospel. Hopefully this video was useful in helping you figure out why you should play Somerville. Take care of each other, gamers. I'll see you soon.